morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're tuned into episode 90 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, save it to your device, subscribe to the show, send it to a loved one or an enemy. And if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, and all right, Gengar, hit that like button, smash the ever-loving fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment. And you're going to do that because, well, you're an oil man. Yeah? Hopefully you're not getting your oil from Canada because, well, we'll get into that, won't we? How do we start the show today? I am poor. Yeah, I'm poor. Woke up today not poor, and now I am. So that's great. $2 billion has been liquidated from the crypto market in the last 2 hours. The market was reacting very poorly to Donald Trump deciding he was going to create a global trade war, and things started to dip on Friday and Saturday, and then today, as of 7 p.m. on a Sunday, all-out carnage. Just obliterated. I'm going to have to sell all my jewelry. Going to go ahead and liquidate all my assets. No more unbranded water sponsor. Need a beverage sponsor. So I'm looking for anybody and anybody. Don't care if you're ethical. Just hit me up. I'm taking all offers. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about this. Spoiler alert. It's going to be one of our main stories today. But, I guess we can try to talk about some other shit first. I'm just going to try to get my mind off of that because I don't want to vent the whole episode, So, yeah, I spent really good timing on my part. I spent $3,000 on a streaming setup this week. I bought a brand new fucking Sony camera, 20 millimeter 1.8 lens, the whole works, lighting setup, fucking, a new mic setup. I mean, I'm ready to rock. And I guess what I wanted to know, what a great way to grease up the algorithm with some comments. What do you want to see from me? What kind of streaming do you want to see from me? I don't know if I'm going to just go head first into Twitch. I think I'll probably do some streaming on X, and Abstract, which is like a Web3 layer 2 from Pudgy Penguins. Maybe I'll do something on Twitch. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out do people want to see me just yap and react to stuff? Do you want to see me do music shit? Don't really want to do that, to be honest. Do you want to see me game? Your boy's a gamer, right? Let me know. I'm curious to see what people have in mind. So this week, before the market crashed and I was poor, I was working with this huge K-pop group, and I found out the most insane thing. This is I just have been dying to tell people about this. Have you guys heard about the Korean birthday gap? Do you know that in Korea, birthdays and age are different than here? In Korea, when you're born, you're 1 year old. So the minute you're born, you're 1. And then on January 1st, you turn 2, no matter when your birthday is. So if you're born on December 31st, the next day, you're 2 years old. Huh? Because I'm going around the room I'm like, how old are you? And one of the the producers well, it's tricky because in Korea I'm 34, but here I'm 32, and I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah, but then they changed it in 2023 to regular system, so now I guess I'm technically. So they changed it. So last year or 2 years ago, Korea was like, okay, just kidding, everybody. Now this is how old you are. Congrats, you're 2 years younger. Can we introduce a new birthday system here that suddenly makes me 2 years younger? What's stopping the U.S. government from just changing time and changing birthdays? I mean, to me, that's the fucking most insane. What dumb fuck came up with that system? Like, that's not how time works. When you're born, you're not 1 year old because, say it out loud with me, 1 year old. You've been old. You've been alive for 1 year. And then on January 1st, you're another years old? Even if it's 1 day later? That's not how time works. And just 2 years ago, they got together like, hey guys, maybe we should change this. That's just the most insane thing ever to me, dude. I'm sorry. Okay. More insane news this week. Possibly the worst trade in sports history went down. The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Dončić and fucking whatever, who cares, for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. This is like, how do I explain this if you're not a sports fan? Ladies, if Taylor Swift traded Travis Kelce for Garth Brooks in a Birkin bag. Fellas, if you don't watch sports, this is like trading your brand new sports car in for like a BMW M3 with 130,000 miles on it that breaks down like 3 times a year. It's the dumbest, and I don't use this lightly. It happened. It was so dumb that when the trade happened, everybody was like, is the NBA, is ESPN hacked? Is Shams hacked? Is everyone hacked? What's going on here? Like, no one believed it was real. Luka Dončić is 25 and is like the face he's like the star of the NBA. This guy dropped 70 last year. And they gave him up for an aging, injury-prone NBA. And Anthony Davis is good, obviously. He's a dog. But he's 31, and he's always hurt. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, it's great for the Lakers. Cool for LA. I'm a Piston fan. So, I'm not going to be like, oh, great, Lakers, I mean, Cade Cunningham dropped 40 on the Mavericks, and they were like, time to blow the franchise up. But look, fellas, let this serve as a reminder. Your girl can always get snatched up at any moment. She can be gone at any moment. And I think Mavericks fans learned that the hard way. They woke up, kind of like how I woke up poor today. They woke up without their star. He just was suddenly traded away out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. And, you got to work. You got to work for your girl every day because she could switch teams at any moment. If she feels that you're lacking, And this isn't a great analogy, right? But you get it. I've made better analogies. In fact, my worst analogy is most people's best analogy. But you get the point, right? So anyway, NBA is they're shocked right now. The NBA Twitter is in shambles. Speaking of Twitter, and that's a great transition, Kanye's back on Twitter after a hiatus from just being a crazy anti-Semite. And he's on just an absolute rampage since being back. I'm going to do a new segment which I'm calling Kanye Tweets, where I'm going to read off some of the most insane Kanye tweets of the week. I'm only going to do this segment this week, probably. But here we go. Here's the first one. I used to want to fuck Kamala until she lost. I don't fuck with losers anymore. So that's a tweet. He's married, by the way. Has daughters. And then follow-up tweet. Kamala seems like a very nice human. I just want to say sorry to her kids. So, what else we got here? Hey, kids, Twitter is a great way to express yourself and crash 3 companies at once. That's a good one. Damn, just warming up. I'm rich. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I do this for the broke me. Shout out to broke me. This one's for you. I mean, he's one of the best tweeters of all time. What do you want me to say? Those are some great tweets. Look, hey, you know, one of the greatest musicians of our time. But we'll leave it at that. So also, Kanye's wife, Bianca Censori, pulled up to the Grammys today, butt naked. Yeah. Butt naked. This happened as I was pulling in today to film. She was wearing a mink jacket. Bianca, show us it. And she took it off. And birthday suit. Was wearing like a fishing net. And just titties and pussy just out. Just, hello. So I'm not going to post it here because I don't want my account banned, but you can look it up yourself. In fact, you've already seen it, haven't you? You sick fuck. You got it saved to your phone, don't you? You sick fuck. You fucking loaded it in 4K and zoomed in, didn't you? You sick fuck. Is this legal? Can you look? Hey, listen, ladies. I'm an ally, right? And you know, free the nipple, right? But are we allowed to just be butt ass naked? Like, is that a thing we can? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we can do? Because I remember when Janet Jackson had a titty pulled out at the Super Bowl, and the fucking FCC had a nuclear meltdown, and everybody was losing their mind. She was butt ass naked, dude. Just like, and I just. Pretty ironic her last name is Censori, huh? More like Bianca Uncensori, huh? Am I right? That's a good joke. All right, let's move on. What else happened this week? Speaking of the crypto market crashing, plane crashing. A lot of planes crashing. And that's not a good transition. So what's going on in the air? What's going on in the airspace? Why are planes just falling from the fucking sky? We had 2 devastating plane crashes this week. One in D.C., when a Black Hawk helicopter crashed into a commercial flight right by a military base. And then one in Philadelphia that looked like a nuclear bomb went off in a residential neighborhood. I mean, what's going on? The videos are horrifying. There was like one angle I couldn't even watch of the Philadelphia flight where that like showed a guy like on fire. Thanks for showing me that, Twitter. Really appreciate my algorithm feeding me that horrifying clip. Don't want to watch it. I mean, this is greatest fear level 7 unlocked. And then, yeah, the comments, you know, of course, and you know, I just so fucking predictable. The comments, check who was on that flight. We need to see who was on that flight. It's a little suspicious to me. Yeah. I wonder who they didn't want to land on that flight. Hey, dumb fucks. You know, there's a way more subtle, easy way to assassinate people than crashing a commercial airline next to a military base, right? You know, there's probably more slick ways for the U.S. government to take somebody out than flying a military helicopter into an American Airlines flight next to a military base, right? You know that, right? Conspiracy theories are just getting stupider and stupider. And then our wonderful president got up there on the podium and managed to make this a DEI thing. Managed to, just like the fires, which were a DEI problem, make the plane crash a DEI problem. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? The DEI hires thing is hilarious because you make it sound like the airline industry is like, hey, you, they, them with pink hair, non-binary. What are you up to today? You want to fly a commercial aircraft? Hey there, black woman. I know you don't have any flying experience. You want to give the Boeing 787 a spin tonight? Yeah, we got a flight heading to Miami. You want to give it a shot? Yeah, we're just hiring anybody and anybody. It's not a fucking DEI issue. If it's any issue, it's a funding issue. The FAA was already understaffed, and the Trump administration wants to cut the budget even more. Trump's been in office for like 2 weeks, fired the head of the Transportation Security Administration, fired the entire aviating Secretary Advisory Committee, froze hiring of all air traffic controllers, fired 100 top FAA security officers. New Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy voted to defund the agency in 2019. It's a bird. It's in plane. It's complete fucking incompetence. Spiking an uptick in my fear of flying. What are we doing? I'm not trying to politicize this tragedy, and I don't even know if it's fair to blame Trump for this, because again, it's like, would all those things have prevented this horrifying accident from happening? I don't know. But like, we should be looking to prevent this kind of thing from happening again, not cutting more money from it. There's much more spending we can look to cut that the Doge can go after than flying. It's a fucking nightmare right now, even before the crashing. If you fly more than once a year, you know what I'm talking about. Delays, cancellations, fucking like maintenance issues. It's a nightmare. The airline industry is in fucking shambles right now. And we've had so many, they're called near misses in the last 5 years. And the answer is probably not cutting more people. So I don't know, man. Look, I got a flight in like 2 months. So we have until March to figure this shit out. All right? Figure it the fuck out. Thanks. All right. I'm going to have a sip of unbranded water. Brought to you by today's sponsor, Unbranded Water. God, I'm so fucking poor. All right. You know what? We're going to send it over to GNN. And we got a special guest tonight to host GNN. That's leading market correspondent, really mad money host, formerly known as Gino.eth, now known as Gino J. Wentworth, here to bring you the breaking news on the global trade war on GNN. Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, crypto, poverty, and this week, poverty. And now your host, Gino J. Wentworth.eth. Gino. Welcome to GNN. I'm your host, Gino, and this is the news. Oh, God, I'm so poor. Hold on, let me put on this hat. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. It's good. You see, I got my tie on today. Putting on my tie because we got to talk business, yeah? In fact, am I putting on the pitties? Yeah. I'm put on the pitties. I think it's time to put on the America pitties. We've got the emergency USA jacket on today because it's time to get serious. It's time to get serious and talk about the State of the Union. President Donald Trump has just launched a trade war with our neighbors to the north and south. Canada announced immediately after that they'd be retaliating with tariffs of their own, specifically hitting red states. So Trump announces tariffs on Mexico and Canada and China, and Canada comes right back and says they're going to retaliate and hit the MAGA states. So considering that we're in a trade deficit with Canada, not great. You know what a trade deficit is? It means we import more from Canada than we export to Canada. So export tax on crude oil, tax on potash, which we need for fertilizer, which will affect produce and farming, export tax on lumber, export tax on important minerals, cooked. How's the market responding? Well, cue the Oppenheimer music. It's a nuke. Absolutely obliterated everything. I mean, I haven't even checked. Am I more poor since I started the podcast? Let's take a look. No, we're bouncing a little bit. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're 1 month into the Trump presidency. I'm sorry. That's not even true. We're 2 weeks into the Trump presidency, and Trump has launched a trade war with our allies and is currently threatening Canada to join the Union as the 51st state. Let's see what Canada has to say about that. This was at the Toronto Raptors game today during the national anthem. Not great. Hey, have you ever heard Canada booing during the American national anthem? That's a first for me. Yeah, the crypto market I told you at the top of the episode, $2 billion wiped out in the past few hours. Bitcoin fell to like 92K from 106K about a day and a half ago. Ethereum dropped all the way to like 2,200 for a minute. The meme coin market decimated right now. It's been bad. And you know what? I'm not going to victory lap because it brings me no joy to be right because I'm poor now. But I told you so. I told you that Trump's economic policy on tariffs, I did a whole episode on it, was going to nuke the fucking economy. I told you it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen 2 weeks in, But I told you it was going to happen because markets don't like not only instability, but global economic warfare. You're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. Please, please, too much. It's too much winning. Are you winning, son? Trump, about a couple hours ago, pain from tariffs will be worth the price. Yeah, dude. High prices are patriotic. That's going to be the next fucking thing that people are going to try to start saying. Hell, I'd rather pay $10 for eggs because I'm buying American. Hell, I'd rather pay $10 at the pump a gallon because I'd rather pay American. What you don't realize is you probably still aren't going to be paying American because, as I told you before, the way tariffs work are, and don't take my word for it, we have thousands of data points showing you what happens with tariffs. And this is before we lived in a fully operable global economy. What happens with tariffs are, the reason people think tariffs are a good idea is because the thought is, well, if we tax other countries, people will build in America. And the reality is, these greedy corporations who are trying to make money, especially for the executives, they would rather just continue to get their goods made overseas or get goods imported from overseas because it's still incrementally cheaper than building a fucking giant factory in America and paying American wages. They would rather pay the tax and get it made overseas because it's still 10 times fucking cheaper. So guess what? They pay the tax and they pass that cost on to you, the consumer. That's how tariffs work. You pay the tax. You pay the tariff. And the market, which we just had the FOMC, they announced no rate spikes, no rate cuts, stayed the same. The market was like, sick, now we can run. Everything was set to boom. Bitcoin was about to hit all-time highs. The stock market was ripping towards all-time highs. Everything was going to be great. But Donald Trump didn't get his way. Donald Trump wanted rates cut, and they weren't cut. And he didn't get his way. So what does he do? He suddenly, out of nowhere, enacts 25% tariffs on both of our allies to the north and south. And now, I'm poor. I'm about to start tariffing people in my life. I'm going to have to impose a date tariff on my girlfriend. 25% tariff on date nights. Sorry, babe. Times are tough. All luxury gift imports for birthdays and holidays now have a 35% tariff. Yeah, I'm going to need some of that back. I'm about to impose a strict comment tariff on my videos. Anybody who watches without commenting, 40% account tariff. Grease up that fucking algorithm. I got a crude oil import tax coming on all comment greasing algorithms. If you're an oil man, it's time to show it. There's a new tariff in town. And you better be fucking terrified. Look me in my eyes. I'm not fucking around, dude. Bull markets pair well with economic stability. Markets do not like global trade wars, as you can see from this nuke on majors since the tariff announcement. Alas, everyone's asking what I think is going to happen, right? I'm getting, what should I do? Should I buy? Should I be selling? What should I do? I'm not going to give you financial advice because I don't fucking know. Nobody knows anything. But I've been in crypto for a very long time. I've been in stocks for a very long time, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert. But this feels oversold. it tastes like capitulation. This weekend, today, will bring I wrote these notes this morning, and I was right. I said, this weekend is going to bring capitulation today. It's going to be capitulation. And then we'll stabilize next week. Trump is meeting with Canada and Mexico tomorrow. You know, the Canadian dollar is tanking currently. And I guess the hope is that this will completely destabilize their economy and force them into making a better deal with us. The Canadian dollar fell to the lowest low since 2003. Love decimating the economy of our allies. I mean, MAGA, baby, right? Fuck yeah. Art of the deal, baby. You gotta love it. That's what America is all about, dude. I want to wrap this segment on tariffs by breaking down what's really happening beneath the surface, because this isn't just about trade disputes, okay? It's certainly not about fucking fentanyl. Give me a cocksucking break. This is about the dollar, interest rates, Bitcoin, and, of course, Donald Trump's bags. Tariffs are not just about punishing China or protecting American jobs. They're a negotiating tactic in a much bigger game. Okay? Trump's main objective, and this is going to shock you, is to weaken the U.S. dollar on purpose to lower the 10-year treasury. Now, treasury yield. So he's trying to weaken the U.S. dollar on purpose to lower the 10-year treasury yield because his personal fortune, his real estate empire, which is heavily tied to treasury yield bonds, depends on it. He wants Powell to cut rates. Powell gave a defiant fuck you a couple days ago. So, assuming that he's going to have to cut rates with inflation coming, he's looking for another way. Because just cutting rates alone won't do the job. So he imposes tariffs strategically to force a global shift that weakens the dollar while keeping U.S. borrowing costs low. Okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to have currency wars, a global trade war. If the U.S. weakens the dollar, foreign economies that have to rely on the dollar, because again, we're the global reserve currency, are going to have to fight off their own recessions by stimulating their economies, which will devalue their currency and inflating away debt. That's when people start to look for alternatives, both in the US and in these other economies. Enter Bitcoin. Typically, high inflation and rising government debt, which is what Trump aims to do here, is bad for risk assets like crypto and tech stocks. But if Trump pressures the Fed to cap yields, which keeps rates low while running large deficits, cheap money continues to flow and into speculative asset classes. If that sounded like another language to you, I apologize. Just know foreign economies burdened by tariffs imposed by big bad Trump and currency devaluation will see citizens rush into alternative stores of value. Weakened dollar, flight to stocks, real estate, which also achieves this by lowering the 10-year yield to pump his real estate bags, and crypto as a store of value. Couple this with a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and we full send. Back to Valhalla. That's the bull case. I think he's posturing. I think this is all, tariffs are normally pretty short-lived as a negotiating tactic. But regardless, prices will go up because this posturing is to strike a new deal, and that deal will weaken the U.S. dollar. No matter what. Remember I said this. Okay? So when prices go up, average U.S. citizens will feel the pain. Everything will be more expensive. But hey, at least crypto will be running again, huh? Great news, guys. And Bitcoin has always been a store of value hedge against inflation. So we are right on track. The downside, global economic instability would create job market uncertainty and potentially a massive raise in inflation and a fucking rate hike. And then we just crash. And that's super cool. So that could happen, but it won't be for a little while. Trump will prop all this shit up because his entire legacy depends on the stock market and now crypto. So buckle up, guys. It's going to be super fun. And maybe this is all overblown. Again, maybe early next week, Trump strikes a deal and it's not that crazy and he's just fluffing his fucking feathers. Me personally, I bought the blood. Funding is resetting. Open interest is wiped. We just had the FOMC key levels. We've blown through those, but we're bouncing nicely. We might go a little lower, but if we go lower, I'll just continue to DCA in. Not financial advice, but for everybody asking me, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? If you want to play it safe, just wait. Just fucking chill and wait to see that we're actually reversing. This feels kind of like a falling knife situation where you might buy the first dip and then there's a dip after the dip and you're like, fuck, I wish I waited for the dip after the dip. So you could DCA in, dollar cost average in, buy a little bit now, wait a little bit, buy a little bit more next week. Or you can just wait until things fucking cool off. Good luck. That's that on that. Let me take this fucking tie off. I'm suffocating myself right now. And we're going to take off the hat, the poor hat, the Pepe hat. Oh, man. Look me in my eyes. You see how tired I am right now? These bags used to be designer bags, but now they're JanSport backpacks. Okay. Main story. I know that felt like a main story. It's not. Pikachu, let me put these pit vipers back on you. I'm sorry, buddy. I know, future's so bright. We gotta keep these on for you. Okay, let me have a sip of unbranded water. Our main story. Spotify. We're gonna talk Spotify. Spotify and Universal Music Group announced a new multi-year deal as part of UMG's Streaming 2.0 plan. Now, the deal details are extremely vague around this, but the rumor is that it's going to include a new, pricier superfan subscription tier package, which will be increased royalty rates for artists and songwriters and producers, and include, for fans, early access to music, exclusive music, high-res audio, artist Q&As, collectibles, et cetera, and more. For some reason, people's initial reaction is oh, this is horrible. Fucking, of course they're charging more. Spotify's so greedy. Record label's so greedy. We'll get to that in a minute. They are being greedy. This is absolutely a way to make more money. And another example of trickle-down economics being a scam, because record labels and Spotify are making more money than they've ever made. And instead of record labels and Spotify taking a little less revenue to pay songwriters and artists more money, they're going to go ahead and just pass that along to consumers, aren't they? Kind of like tariffs. Let me take this tie off. I forgot to. So, I feel like I look like I'm in fucking Fallout Boy with this tie on. Kind of a vibe? No, I'll never do it again. Okay, so yeah, they're passing that on to consumers. But do I feel bad for consumers? Do I feel bad for music fans? Fuck no. Fuck no. Oh, womp womp. I need to pay more money. Oh no, sorry, you're going to have to pay $15 a month instead of $11.99 a month for unlimited lifetime music that people spend their entire lives and millions of dollars to produce and distribute. Oh no, you got to pay fucking $5 more a month for all the music in the world? Woe is you. Fans don't value music, despite it being the most impactful industry in their day-to-day lives. Despite music literally being the soundtrack to their shitty, average, miserable existence. You're like, I should get all my music for free always. I shouldn't have to pay artists. They're lucky to have me as a fan. Creatives make no money from streaming. And if this puts more money in our pockets, good. I've been begging the DSPs to raise prices. And, you know, only if it meant higher royalty payouts. And I know that this is like, they raised prices like last year and they like didn't do anything for royalty, like fucking nothing. This seems like a step in the right direction. You know, back in my day, we paid $20 for a fucking CD to listen to one song. You understand? People used to go to the record store, shell out 20 shekels to listen to the single. Everybody ate. Everybody made money. And guess what? It's not that much money. And then iTunes came out to save the music industry from LimeWire and Napster. iTunes charged $1 per track. Guess what? People were making more money because there's more access. People are hammering fucking. It was great. You're still getting physicals. People are making so much money. People were buying ringtones. Fans were stoked to support the artists that they love, trying to get them up the iTunes charts. And everybody was having a great time. And now, streaming killed everything. And you can fucking miss me with the alligator tears. Miss me with the fucking tears about how you have to pay $12 a month for all the music in the world, all the time at your fingertips at any given moment. Or you can pay nothing and have to listen to ads. Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm going to crash out. I'm going to crash out. And if you comment under this video, when I post this clip on Instagram and TikTok, and you go, artists should be grateful. I'm so sick of artists complaining, people complaining. Hey, guys, songwriters don't make any money. Illuminate report came out this past week that said that there were over 200 million songs released in 2024. That's 100 songs. I'm sorry. That's nearly 100,000 songs a day. 92% independently distributed. And guess what? Half of them have less than 10 streams. 10. That means these people couldn't even get their fucking close family to listen to the song. Nobody's listening to that bullshit. This is why Spotify implemented the royalty threshold. You know, the one that everybody was fucking complaining about? 1,000 streams to get paid? This is unfair. What? You want 12 cents? What? You want 12 cents from your 430 streams that you've got from your one monthly listener? That's your mom. That eats at the entire royalty pool. And these songs, again, nearly 100 million of them have no streams. Some of them less than 3 streams. This year, I wouldn't be surprised if both numbers doubled. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the total songs uploaded hits 400 million and the percentage of songs under 10 streams is 70% of that. AI is going to absolutely pillage the royalty pool. It's going to dilute everything tenfold in the next 5 years. This is why streaming 2.0 is so important. This is why this is a good thing. Now, I don't know if this is the final answer. I don't know if this is the exact solution, but this is Spotify's attempt and the record label's attempt to address the inevitable market trend of artists pivoting to direct-to-consumer models. As I talked about in previous episodes, there's a massive market of super fans that are not being capitalized in the current streaming model. I mean, people are dying to give their favorite artists money. Believe it or not. You wouldn't know from all the pissing and bitching and moaning online about having to pay for music, but actual fans of people who want to support artists and the people that make the music are dying to give money to these people. And there's no way to do it other than concerts and merch. This is a solution. And frankly, this is a smart move by Spotify to get in front of this. And it's a smart move by the record labels to get in front of this because, again, as I talked about in a couple episodes ago, we're seeing the flight to independent distribution, and they're going to be going to direct-to-consumer to hit these superfans, making way more fucking money. And Spotify knows this. You're already seeing artists like, I'm not going to put my music on fucking Spotify. I'm just going to sell it on my website for like $5 or $1. I work with a virtual artist company called Hume. We did a music NFT drop a couple months ago for a song. We made like 30 grand on that song in a day. You know how many streams 30 grand is? Let me do the math. I should be able to do this mentally, but I'm so fucking distraught right now because of my portfolio that I can't do the math. 7.5 million streams. Is that right? I don't even fucking know anymore, dude. I don't even think that's right. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot. I'm a mess. TLDR, this is a good thing, okay? Artists, songwriters, producers, actual fans of music, this is a good thing. You're going to get better quality music. You're going to get cooler, packaged pieces of art. You're going to be able to collect it. You're going to get to own it. This is a good thing. Creatives, songwriters, producers, you're going to make more money. Record labels are going to make more money, obviously. Spotify is going to make more money, obviously. But they were going to do that regardless. And if you're a fan of music and you're worried about paying $4 more a month, cry me a literal fucking river, yeah? A literal body of water. And then go for a swim. Let's get to everyone's favorite segment. I need to unwind. And then I need to go cry myself to sleep in the shower. We're gonna head on over to the FOH HOF, the fuck out of here Hall of Fame. And man, do we got a fun episode for you? Man, do we got a fun little one to unpack for you this week. UFC fighter Bryce Mitchell dropped his first podcast episode this week, and he's got a clip that's going pretty viral, and you'll see why. Here we go.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out, that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays. They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, you know what her first tranny surgery ever was? Happened to be in Germany before Hitler took over. You know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning? You know what the books was? Queer books. Hitler burned queer books because Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce children.
But what about...
Okay. If you didn't notice, we did put on the pitties for this one because we are going to get serious, and we're going to go ahead and head on over into a Pit Viper mega rant for this one, yeah? Imagine having a man crush on Hitler. I mean, Bryce here has late-stage CTE, but that's not enough. He wants syphilis, too. Hell, I'd love to go fishing with him. Hell, I don't think Hitler was such a bad guy. In fact, I think he was a good guy. Hell, he's the kind of guy you take fishing with. I'd hit up Bass Fish Pro Shops with the boys and grab a new tackle box for a day on the lake. Bryce here wants to Sieg Heil with a largemouth bass on a stringer. I'm surprised you didn't Roman salute at the end of this clip. This is insane. I mean, is this the most insane thing you've heard somebody say? Listen to this first sentence.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own.
Oh, those string of words should never be said in that order.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination.
Your public education? What public education? You're not public. What public education? Bro's a middle school dropout. This is the stupidest man alive. I'd love to go fishing with Hitler too. I'd love to take Hitler fishing, Fredo Corleone style. I've made fun of this idiot before, by the way. He's a flat earther. I had a video go crazy viral where I'm making fun of him for being a flat earther. Just so you know, this is what you sound like when you say the earth is flat, by the way. This is the line of thinking you're aligning with. This is like the third increasingly stupid thing that this guy said in the past few months. It can't possibly get any stupider than this, but who knows? Maybe Third Reich's the charm, huh? You keep surprising us, Bryce. This video is
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out.
Anti-Semitic.
That were
insane.
Destroying his country and turning them all into gays.
Terminating them. And turning them into
they were gaying out the
turning them into gays.
They were queering out the women.
They're gaying out the kids. They're turning them into gays.
They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, you know what her first tranny surgery ever was?
Where? Don't say Germany.
Happened to be in Germany.
Shut the
before
fuck up.
Hitler took over. You know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning? You know what the books was?
Were they gay books?
Queer books.
No fucking way,
Hitler
Bryce.
burned queer books because Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce children.
They were queering out the women. They were queering out the boys. They were putting Jewish tampons and pink yarmulkes in the men's bathroom. George Soros was injecting the German water with fluoride and queering up the frogs. Arkansas is canceled. All Arkansas has ever given us is Johnny Cash and the Clintons. Arkansanity is the name of the podcast. This is the first episode of the podcast. This is the intro episode to Arkansanity, which isn't even a good play on words, by the way. Yeah, great pun there. You should call the show Arkansari. What the fuck did you say? Or Arkansas your career in half. Or cannot believe you said that dumb shit. Look at the guy on the right, dude. Look at the co-host. Rolly Delgado. Look at his face.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country.
That is the face of a man who knows that his podcast career is already over before it even started. Accessory to career suicide, you know? Like when your boy says something embarrassing to him to embarrass you in front of the hose, you know? When bro scares the hose away, you know? Like, for example, Hitler was actually a pretty good guy. Hitler was actually pretty chill. So that clip happens. It goes viral instantly. Dana White, who owns UFC, which is where this man makes a living, issued a statement on the fight, or not on the fight, and issued a statement on the comments. Here's Dana White.
Not a fun topic to talk about the Bryce stuff. I think that's a great statement that you just gave. Does Bryce Mitchell face a punishment from the UFC for saying
That's what everybody wants to hear about punishments. Free speech. I don't have to love it. You don't have to love it. You know.
I agree with that, the free speech sentiment. Is there a concern, though, right, if he goes out and wins a fight and gets a mic?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this business. For all of you that hate Bryce Mitchell, you get to see him hopefully get his ass whooped on global television. I mean, what do you want me to say about it? You know where I am with free speech. We're disgusted by it. I think he's probably one of the dumbest, literally one of the dumbest human beings. Let's not forget that this is a guy who took a drill through his nutsack, then had to reverse it and put the drill back out of his. That's the level of stupid that we're talking about here. And I could probably go on for 10 minutes talking about how dumb Bryce Mitchell is. But guess what? Bryce Mitchell has a podcast.
I believe this was episode 1.
What a way to start. But that's the world that we live in.
Okay. First, this was objectively hilarious. I do appreciate Dana absolutely ripping into him and calling him stupid, the stupidest person alive, because he might be. He actually might be the stupidest person alive. He was really stupid before getting full-blown CTE, before Josh Emmett knocked him back to 1941. But I gotta say, free speech, nothing I can do, is absolutely bullshit. I'm sorry. It's bullshit. Hey, I'm an American. I'm wearing a fucking American flag jacket. And America pities. It doesn't get more American than that. Okay? And free speech is a nationally protected right. Yes. But you're the CEO of a company and a brand. Bryce can say that and not get arrested for it. And that's the First Amendment. But you have a moral obligation, brother. As an American, you have a moral obligation as the leader of a brand that millions of Americans look to and watch and support, you have an obligation as an American to punish this fucking idiot for being a literal Nazi. Guys, I don't know how to break it to you. He's a Nazi. If it was Nazi Germany and he was there, guess what he'd be doing? Killing Jewish people. Because he agrees with it. And anybody in the fucking comments of these videos that says, he's got a point. Well, maybe hold on, let bro cook. He's based. Guess what? You're a Nazi. And by not punishing him and kicking this fucking asshole out of the league, which you should do, not a fine, not a suspension, ban him from the USC. Because that's what you do to Nazis. I don't know when, as a nation, we started taking it soft on Nazis, but can we get back to treating them like the scum of the fucking earth that they are, please? Can we do that? Did we forget? Did everybody forget that they killed 6 million plus people in a genocide? And then, oh yeah, by the way, cajillions of Americans, the greatest war of our lifetime, almost ruined the world? Did we forget? I don't know. I mean, I think he's an idiot, but my hands are tied. Nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? I just own the league. I'm a supporter of free speech. There's nothing more I can say. There's nothing more I can do. Yeah, you can, Dana. Kick him out of the fucking league, dude. Prevent him from making money. Instead, what are you doing? Well, the beautiful part about this sport is you can watch him get his ass kicked. Are you selling tickets? Are you turning this into a money op? Dude, give me a fucking break, brother. This country has reached a point of divide and misinformation where people hate the Democratic Party more than the Nazi Party. Anti-Semitism and hate should not be a partisan issue tethered to free speech. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, and every dumb fuck has a podcast that can say whatever the fuck they want. But guess what? There are consequences for the things you say, okay? People like this should be punched in the fucking mouth and not paid for it. And that's all I got to say on that. Take off the fucking pitties. Disgusted. Dumb fuck. Hell, I'd like to go fishing with them. You fucking idiot. Brain dead, jackass, dickhead, bumpkin fuck. All right. The last thing. It's not even a video. I was just on the way over here. And I'm like looking at Grammy stuff. Did you guys see what Jaden Smith wore to the Grammys? Did you guys see what Jaden Smith wore to the Grammys? You got to be watching on Apple Podcasts. I'm sorry, you can't watch an Apple Podcast. You got to be watching the Good Luck Show on Spotify or YouTube to get the full effect of this. But he's wearing a castle on his head. He's dressed up as a Airbnb. Bro said, I'm the king of the castle. You know? Jaden here took Mind Palace a little too serious. Dressed up as his Mind Palace. Roblox head ass. Look at this. What the fuck is he wearing? Whose idea is this? He arrived at the Grammys dressed as Castle Morn from Elden Ring. What are you thinking for the Grammys this year, Jaden? Hogwarts. Oh, fun, like a wizard-inspired outfit? Hogwarts. Literally. The school. I've been laughing at this for hours. Look at this fit. Whatever stylist had to, who's responsible? I just need a name. I just got to know who it was. Because whatever stylist had him pulling up in a 16th century Barbie dream house on his head should be banned from all red carpets. This motherfucker is cosplaying as Dracula's vacation home. What is... Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Ass fucking fit, High school papier-mâché project on his head. I'd be mad as fuck if I was sitting behind him at the Grammys. Imagine you're sitting behind him at the Grammys and this just fucking cardboard. Like, can you just... Whoever let him step out of the house wearing a house should be committed to spend 2 weeks living in this house. Like shrunk down and like living in the house for 2 weeks. I can't believe he wore this. This is like way crazier than the fucking mocap suit he was wearing that I made fun of the other time. I've seen a lot of crazy outfits at the Grammys. Kanye's wife just pulled up naked, but this dude dressed up as a homebody. I mean, you know what they say: head is where the home is, right? Is that the saying? This is so insane. I mean, can we talk about the political and economic state of the housing market? I wonder if he plans on flipping that house. Maybe he's just starting with one house, and then, because here's the thing: if you have 10 home heads before 30, if you can get 10 homes on your head, right, and you go to 10 red car, you can have generational wealth. You can take that home on your head, right, and then you can turn that into 10. You can flip those homes, right, and then now you've got compiling outfits. Jaden. Never a dull moment with Jaden Smith. Great speech. Great way to end the episode. Good positive note on just one of the more depressing days of my life. And, let me just say something. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and allowing me to feel a little bit better about my situation. Because it's just money. The bottom line is it's just magic internet money. None of it matters. It will come back up, and I'll be feeling my pompous self again soon. And my aura will return. Yeah. And if not, I'll just keep hoping it will. We're going to manifest positivity, yeah? Thank you for listening. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the show, save it to your device, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, Gengar, because it's the #1 way to consume the Good Luck Podcast, and it's where I make the most money, and I need it now, make sure you tackle that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm that you're making here in the USA. You're not importing it from Canada, because you don't want to pay that tariff. So it's going to cost you a little bit more to comment this week. But grease up that algorithm, because at the end of the day, you're an oil man. And that's it. We're gonna end it on that. Thank you guys. Until next week, as the world continues to crumble beneath our feet and this beautiful empire that is the United States of America continues to just wither away. Good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that
Pikachu.
you gotta know.
What's that show again?
Good luck
With who?
with Gino.
That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine.
Woo.
Every week, he's gonna bring the hype.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Everything's
Tune in
fine.
all night.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. It's going to be a real delight. Woo! Ba-da-ba-ticka-da. Bitch. Okay. Get the fuck out of here.